All right, so today we're going to be diving deep into large language models, or LLMs.
Yeah.
Everybody's heard about them.
Right.
And they're pretty darn amazing. I use them every day. It's unbelievable.
It is amazing how far they've come. But
there are limitations.
Yeah, especially when we get into things like, specific knowledge tasks.
Yeah, like the really important stuff, like medical diagnoses or research,
Yeah, you don't want to trust an LLM that hasn't read a medical journal in 5 years.
Right.
to
give you medical advice.
To give you advice on what's wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the crux of the issue here, right?
Well, yeah, these LLMs are impressive, but, we all know that they hallucinate.
Right.
They can make stuff up. It sounds very plausible.
Right.
But it might not be actually based in reality.
Yeah, it's like asking your friend who, thinks they know everything, but hasn't actually opened a textbook in years.
Right, exactly. It hasn't actually done the research to back it up.
Yeah, so how do we solve this? How do we make sure these LLMs are getting the right information?
Well, that's where this concept of retrieval-augmented generation comes in, or RAG.
Okay, RAG.
As it's often called. And what RAG does is it helps to ground these LLMs in factual data by giving them access to documents, information in real time.
So it's like giving them a cheat sheet.
Kind of, yeah. It's like, here's all this factual information.
Right.
Now go ahead and answer the question.
I like that. So let's break down how RAG actually works. What are the nuts and bolts? We've got figure 1 here, which is a diagram kind of outlining this. So first, we've got all these documents, right? There's a massive amount of information, research papers, medical records.
It's articles, yeah.
All that jazz.
Yeah.
So what's the first step?
So the first step is to embed those documents.
Okay.
And what embedding means is essentially you're creating a digital fingerprint.
For each piece of information, turning it into a numerical representation that then the LLM can understand.
So it's kind of like translating it into LLM language.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. So then what happens when you ask the LLM a question? How does it use all these digital fingerprints?
So then when you pose a question, we call this a query, to the LLM, what happens is the system will retrieve the most relevant chunks of information from those embedded documents based on your request.
So it's not just searching everything. It's it's actually pulling up what's most relevant.
That's right. And it's not just pulling up the entire document.
Okay.
It's pulling up chunks of information from that document that are relevant.
Oh, so it's really smart.
It is.
It's getting smarter all the time.
And then often there's a refinement step.
Okay.
To make sure it's really getting the best possible information.
Got it. So it's like double checking your sources.
Yeah, like when you're writing a paper.
Right.
You don't just use the first thing you find. You double check, you triple check. Yeah.
Make sure your sources are good.
Okay, so we've got the relevant info.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Then that augmented information that was carefully selected is fed to the LLM.
Okay.
So instead of just relying on its pre-trained knowledge.
Right, which might be
outdated. Incomplete. It now has this toolbox of relevant factual data to craft its response with.
I like that. It's like we're giving them a toolbox.
Yeah, we're giving them more to work with.
Right, we're giving them resources.
Yes.
Okay, so our way is like giving our LLMs a serious upgrade in terms of accuracy. But I'm thinking, wouldn't it be easier to just have one giant database, for the LLM to pull from? Why not just put all our eggs in one basket?
Well, that might seem simpler, but, when you think about real-world scenarios, that becomes a problem, For example, imagine a medical research project that needs data from multiple hospitals. Each hospital has tons of patient information, but sharing that raw data directly would be a huge privacy violation.
Right, yeah.
That's not going to happen.
We can't just ignore privacy.
No, not at all.
So how do we tap into all that valuable info without compromising confidentiality?
Well, that is where confidential federated RAG comes in.
Okay, confidential federated RAG.
Or C-FedRAG.
C-FedRAG. All right.
For short.
Get it.
And it's this really amazing way to kind of enable knowledge sharing, but without compromising that confidentiality.
All right, so C-FedRAG, it sounds like, is solving a huge problem here, giving these LLMs access to all this wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
While keeping sensitive data secure.
Exactly.
But I gotta admit, that name's a little intimidating.
It's a mouthful.
Confidential federated RAG, C-FedRAG. Can we break that down a bit?
Absolutely.
What are we talking about here?
So let's start with federated. Think about it like a team of experts all working on a project, but they're all staying in their own lab or office. They're sharing their insights and findings, but they never actually have to meet in the same room. That's the essence of federated learning. It's collaboration without centralization.
So instead of one central database, we've got multiple data providers, each keeping their data safe.
Exactly.
Within their own system.
Within their own systems.
Yeah, okay, I'm starting to get the picture here.
Okay.
And then we add in the confidential part, right? What does that mean?
So confidential is where things get really exciting.
Okay.
Because with C-FedRAG, we're using this cutting-edge technology called confidential computing.
Okay.
And this creates a super secure environment for all this data processing.
So it's like a digital vault?
It is. It really is, where only authorized parties can access the information.
Right.
And even the system, even what's called the orchestrator, can't peek inside.
Wow, so that's some next-level security there.
It is.
But how does all of this actually work in practice? Like, how do we get from a user's question to a secure and accurate answer generated by the LLM?
All right, so for that, let's use figure 2, another diagram, as our kind of roadmap to walk through the C-FedRAG process.
Okay, I'm following along.
Step by step.
Right.
So first we have our data providers. These are the entities, like the hospitals in our medical example, and they're holding this valuable information.
Right.
And each provider keeps their data secure within their own system.
Right, so the data stays put.
The data stays put, that's right.
Okay.
Then you have what's called the orchestrator.
Right.
And the orchestrator is like the master conductor of this whole operation.
Okay.
It acts as a central hub. It sends out requests, gathers responses.
Got it.
But, and this is key, all of this is happening within that confidential computing environment.
Right.
So even the orchestrator doesn't have access to the raw data itself.
So it's like the orchestrator is directing the orchestra.
Yes.
But they can't actually see the sheet music.
Exactly. It's a very good analogy.
I like that. That's good.
And then to add another layer of security, the entire system
is built on this platform called NVIDIA Flare.
NVIDIA Flare. Okay.
Which is specifically designed for federated learning.
Okay.
So this ensures that the whole process, from data retrieval to model training, inference, all happens in a way that preserves privacy.
So NVIDIA Flare is like the foundation of this whole secure system.
Yes, it's the platform.
Okay, but we're still dealing with very sensitive data here.
Yes.
How do we guarantee that it stays protected throughout this entire process?
Well, that is where the confidential VMs come in.
Okay.
And we touched on them earlier.
Right, the digital vaults.
Yes, like digital vaults, ensuring that even the orchestrator can't peek at the sensitive data within.
Okay.
And these confidential VMs use hardware-level security features to isolate the data and the code to prevent any unauthorized access.
All right, so we've got all these layers of security. Federated learning, confidential computing, confidential VMs. It sounds like Fort Knox for data.
That's a good way to think about it. But what are the real-world benefits of all this? Like, why should we be excited about C-FedRAG?
Well, the benefits are really game-changing.
Okay.
First and foremost, C-FedRAG unlocks access to specialized knowledge that might otherwise be siloed because of privacy concerns.
Okay, yeah.
Think about all these medical experts, each with their own unique insights and experiences.
Right.
C-FedRAG lets us tap into that collective wisdom without compromising patient privacy.
That's incredible. It's like having a global team of specialists.
Yeah, like a dream team.
Working together.
Working together.
To solve these complex problems.
Exactly.
But it sounds like the benefits go beyond just accessing more data.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
C-FedRAG can also potentially integrate insights from multiple data types.
Okay.
Text, images,
Sensor data,
all different kinds of data.
So it's creating a more holistic understanding.
A more holistic understanding, yes.
Imagine. Like a medical diagnosis.
Right.
That takes into account not just patient records, but also medical images and even real-time sensor data from wearables.
That's right.
Wow, that's really powerful.
It is. We're giving AI systems a whole new set of senses to perceive and understand the world.
To understand the world, yeah.
And this could revolutionize fields far beyond just healthcare.
Okay.
Think about financial analysis, scientific discovery. I mean,
so many applications.
The possibilities are really limitless.
Okay, I'm officially blown away.
It is very cool.
By the potential of C-FedRAG.
Uh-huh.
But, I'm sure there are challenges.
Of course.
Right. No system is perfect.
No system is perfect. That's right.
What are we talking about here?
So some of the challenges that need to be addressed are, for example, managing user access.
Right.
How do we make sure the right people can get and preventing data poisoning attacks?
Right.
How do we make sure that the data is good, it's not being tampered with, and then developing, really effective aggregation algorithms? There's a lot of research that still needs to be done.
So there's still work to be done, but the potential benefits are just so huge.
The potential is massive.
That it seems like it's really worth it.
It is.
And speaking of real-world benefits, the researchers behind C-FedRAG, they did an experiment, right?
They did, to see how well this works in practice.
And they chose a field.
They did.
Where accuracy and privacy are absolutely paramount.
Yeah.
Medicine.
Medicine, exactly.
Okay, tell me more. I want to hear about how this all went down.
All right. So they used a combination of these medical data sets.
Okay.
PubMed, Wikipedia, StatPearls, even medical textbooks.
Wow.
So they really wanted to simulate a scenario where you had different institutions like hospitals or research labs all contributing their data.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
It'd be incredible.
If this could actually be implemented in the real world.
A possibility.
It would be revolutionary. Doctors could access this vast network of medical knowledge, all while keeping that patient data secure.
Yes, exactly.
But how did C-FedRAG actually perform in this experiment?
Well, the results were pretty remarkable. Not only did it, outperform just using a standalone LLM with no retrieval augmentation at all. It actually also surpassed the performance of some state-of-the-art LLMs that were using traditional centralized RAG.
Wow, that's a huge win.
It is.
So it's not just more secure, it's potentially more accurate.
Potentially more accurate, yeah.
Than these existing methods.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Especially in a field like medicine, right?
Right.
Where getting the right answer can really make a difference.
Huge difference, yeah.
Yeah.
But as with any groundbreaking technology, there are always challenges.
There are always challenges, right?
What are we talking about here? What are the things that...
So the researchers themselves highlighted a few areas for future development. Managing user access, making sure that only the right people can get into the system. Preventing data poisoning attacks. So making sure that the data itself
is good, it's not being tampered with.
Stays good, as in tampered with.
Yeah, those are definitely critical things to think about.
These are open research problems that need to be addressed.
But even with those challenges, the potential benefits of C-FedRAG,
it's huge.
They seem almost too significant to ignore.
Yeah.
It feels like we're on the cusp of something really big here.
I think so too. I think this is a major breakthrough in how we access and utilize knowledge.
Absolutely. And the paper touches on some even more mind-blowing possibilities.
It does.
We talked about leveraging specialized knowledge from these diverse sources and integrating these different data modalities.
It's amazing, right?
Like, it really feels like...
It really does.
We're opening up these entirely new dimensions of knowledge and understanding.
I think so.
Okay, you've really piqued my curiosity here.
All right, well, let's
delve into these additional benefits.
Let's dive in.
And really kind of explore, how far-reaching the impact of all of this could be.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've really unpacked the technical side of C-FedRAG.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, the possibilities.
The paper hints at some truly mind-blowing stuff.
It does.
Like, we're talking leveraging specialized knowledge, integrating all these different types of data.
It's a whole new level.
Yeah, it really sounds like we're talking about, like...
It really is a paradigm shift.
A whole new level of AI-powered insights.
Yeah.
So give me a concrete example here.
Okay.
What kind of real-world scenarios are we talking about?
Okay, so imagine you're a medical researcher.
Okay.
And you're trying to develop a new treatment for a rare disease. And you need data from multiple hospitals, each with its own unique patient population and expertise.
Right.
But sharing that raw data directly, logistical nightmare.
Nightmare, yeah.
Not to mention the privacy violation.
Right, yeah, you need the data.
You need the data.
To advance research.
But you can't compromise patient privacy.
Right, it's like a catch-22.
It is. It's a catch-22.
So how do we get around that?
Well, that's where C-FedRAG comes in.
Okay.
It gives us this way to tap into that knowledge without having to physically move the data.
So it's like having all these specialists consulting on a case, but they never have to leave their own hospital.
They're all working together.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's like we're building this global brain trust.
It is.
For medical research.
A global brain trust.
Okay, but the paper also talks about this multimodality integration.
Yes.
What does that mean exactly in the context of C-FedRAG?
So that means we can combine insights from different types of data, not just text.
So give me an example.
Okay, so think about medical diagnosis.
Okay.
You've got patient records, you've got lab results, you've got medical images.
Right.
Traditionally, those have all been treated separately.
Yeah, they're all in different systems.
They are.
But C-FedRAG could potentially bring all of that together.
Yes.
To create a much richer understanding.
A more holistic view.
Of the patient's condition.
Exactly.
It's like we're putting together a puzzle.
Yeah.
Where each piece comes from a different box.
That's right.
You need all those pieces to see the full picture.
You do.
And the applications for this go way beyond healthcare, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like imagine using this in finance.
Right.
You've got market data, news articles, social media sentiment.
It's all connected.
Yeah, to make better investment decisions.
It is, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The possibilities are truly mind-boggling.
It's really exciting to think about.
But let's be realistic for a second. There are going to be challenges with implementing something this complex.
Of course, nothing's ever easy.
What are some of the hurdles that we still need to overcome?
So managing user access, big one.
Right. We got to make sure the right people...
Only the right people can get in.
Are getting in.
And then preventing data poisoning attacks.
Okay.
Making sure that the data stays good.
Right.
Untainted.
It's like building a fortress, right?
It is, yeah.
You need strong walls.
Strong wall.
And a really vigilant guard to protect that treasure.
Absolutely.
So it's all about striking that balance.
Yes.
Between accessibility and security.
That's the key.
All right, well, this has been a really fascinating deep dive.
It has.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
From the limitations of LLMs to this whole new world of C-FedRAG.
It's a whole new paradigm.
So sum it all up for me.
Okay.
What's the big takeaway for our listeners?
Why should they care about this technology?
Why C-FedRAG?
I think the most compelling aspect is that it really has the potential to change how we access and use knowledge in the age of AI.
Yeah.
It lets us tap into the collective intelligence of multiple organizations without compromising confidentiality.
Right.
And that opens up a world of possibilities for collaboration and innovation.
It's like we're creating this tapestry of knowledge from all these different sources to get a much richer and more insightful understanding of the world around us.
And we're already seeing these amazing results.
We are.
In these real-world applications.
Yeah, like the medical question answering.
Like medical question answering.
It's clear that this is a real solution.
It is.
With huge potential to transform all these different industries and to help us solve some of the biggest challenges that we face.
I think it's really an exciting time.
It is.
To be witnessing these advancements.
It is, yeah.
And I can't wait to see what the future holds.
So to all our listeners out there,
yes,
keep an eye on C-FedRAG.
It's going to be big.
It might just be the key to unlocking a future where knowledge is shared freely and securely.
And that leads to a brighter and more informed world for everyone.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's a wrap for today's deep dive.
It is.
We hope you enjoyed this exploration of the world of C-FedRAG.
Yeah.
And we hope you're just as excited as we are about its potential to really reshape the future of knowledge and AI.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep learning.